Space is absolutely terrifying, especially to me. Endless galaxies, wormholes, black holes, and undiscovered planets. We have explored so little of space simply because we don't have the technology to reach beyond our own galaxy. But what lies beyond that? Will we ever know? Today on Top 5 Scary Videos, I'm going to be counting down our list of the top 5 scary space urban legends. Before we begin though, be sure to stick around until the end of the video where I'll be responding to some of your comments. And with that, let's jump in. Coming in at number 5, Alien Death Star. Lepidus is the 3rd largest natural satellite of Saturn, 11th largest in the solar system, and the largest body in the solar system known not to be in hydrostatic equilibrium. Now, the moon of Saturn looks somewhat like the infamous Death Star in the Star Wars franchise, with a large crater that resembles the fictional weapon's super laser focus lens. Now, for those who don't know, the Death Star is a fictional mobile space station and galactic superweapon which features in the Star Wars franchise and is absolutely terrifying to look at. Not to mention, it is a planet-killing machine that destroys entire worlds with its powerful laser. Back in 2016, Daily Mail released an article in which they questioned whether Saturn's moon could in fact be an alien Death Star. Experts are unsure how Lepidus formed, but one Martian researcher believes that it was made from scratch by an alien civilization. An image taken back in 2004 seems to show a line stretching around the moon's equator, and a massive crater on top that some say looks identical to a fictional artificial weapon. According to alien hunter and YouTuber Tyler from Secure Team, he explained, I quote, "There are some very prominent researchers out there who have theorized that Lepidus is a constructed object. It's artificial." Now, Lepidus has been called the yin-yang moon, as it has a light and dark face that creates a contrast on the surface. Now, after some images surfaced from Cassini, an unmanned spacecraft, they appear to reveal an array of unusual anomalous features around Lepidus. A massive ridge that is 16,000 kilometers long and 20 kilometers wide and stretches around the equator. It looks as if there were 2 separate pieces, and it looks as if they were welded together, Tyler stated. In at number 4, we have Planet 9. Planet 9 is a hypothetical planet in the outer region of the solar system. This hypothetical super-Earth-sized planet would have a predicted mass of 5 to 10 times that of Earth, and an elongated orbit 400 to 800 times as far from the Sun as the Earth. The planet itself, if real, would be absolutely terrifying. It is massive and almost totally black, making it resemble a black hole more than a planet. Now, back in April 2016, the New York Post tweeted, I quote, "A newly discovered planet could destroy Earth as soon as this month." An accompanying video also claimed that the new planet would be throwing all sorts of asteroids and comets at Earth, which would in turn destroy the planet. Now, the planet has not been confirmed to even exist. However, astronomers are actively looking for it to explain motions of some objects in the icy Kuiper Belt, a region of icy objects beyond Neptune. However, sorry to disappoint some of you folks, but if the planet is actually found, the California Institute of Technology's Mike Brown says the planet will pose no threat to Earth or life on Earth. Take that as you will. I'm disappointed. Coming in at number 3, NASA is a lie. It is common knowledge that many conspiracy theorists believe the Apollo moon landings to be a hoax, with some even theorizing that director Stanley Kubrick filmed it on a soundstage. However, theorists have taken things further by speculating that NASA itself isn't real, and that instead it exists to generate space-related hoaxes. People have even taken to Twitter with the hashtag NASA hoax, with some even stating that pictures of Mars, Pluto, and even Earth are fake or CGI. However, in actuality, NASA was formed back in 1958 to provide research into problems of flight within and outside the Earth's atmosphere, and for other purposes according to the National Aeronautics and Space Act of 1958. Since then, NASA has launched hundreds of satellites into orbit around Earth, the Moon, and several other worlds. Not to mention, NASA also sends astronauts into orbit where they could conduct research at the International Space Station, also known as ISS. All in all, at any given time there could be folks in space. It's just become such a regular occurrence, most of us have stopped caring. Still a big deal though. Coming in at number 2, we have the moon landing. On July 20th, 1969, Commander Neil Armstrong and lunar module pilot Buzz Aldrin touched down on the surface of the moon, with Armstrong becoming the very first person to ever step onto the lunar surface. Armstrong and Aldrin spent around 21 hours on the lunar surface at a site they named Tranquility Base, before lifting off to rejoin Columbia in lunar orbit. Ever since that day, there have been countless conspiracy theories surrounding the Apollo moon landing, claiming that some, if not all, of the elements of the Apollo program and the associated moon landings were hoaxes staged by NASA. Of course, the most notable claim is that the 6 crewed landings on the moon were fake, and that 12 Apollo astronauts did not actually walk on the moon. Now, some claim that the technology to send men to the moon was lacking, or that Van Allen radiation belt, solar flares, solar wind, coronal mass ejections, and cosmic rays made such a trip impossible. Moon landing conspiracists focused heavily on NASA photos that were released to the public. In some photos, for example, the crosshairs appear to be behind objects. The cameras were fitted with Roseau plate, which is a glass plate with a reticle etched on, making it impossible for any photographed object to appear in front of the grid. Not to mention, like I said before, the astronauts could not have survived the trip because of exposure to radiation from the Van Allen radiation belt and galactic ambient radiation. Also, one of the final pieces of evidence is the simple fact that the flag seems to be fluttering, even though there is no wind on the moon. This in turn suggests that it was filmed on Earth and a breeze caused the flag to flutter. The flag, if on the moon, would have actually just faced downwards.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Hill and Dale. Da 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 da. Hippity hopping along.
And finally, coming in at number 1, we have the Eye of Saturn. Saturn is the 6th planet from the Sun in our solar system, and the 2nd largest planet after Jupiter, that is. Now, a lot of people may not know this, but there is a massive anomaly on the north pole of the planet that has many people scratching their heads. It is aptly called the Eye of Saturn. The hexagon is about 20,000 miles wide and consists of air traveling at about 200 miles per hour, according to scientists at NASA. It has been said that the strange feature was spotted back in 1980s by NASA's Voyager mission and later revisited by Cassini-Huygens. Now, the hexagon is believed to be a jet stream made of atmospheric gases that seem to rotate. More interesting still, between 2012 and 2016, the hexagon changed from a mostly blue colour to more of a golden colour, and now appears to be mostly red deep inside the vortex of the hexagon itself. Now, some have scrutinised the pictures and have noted peculiar shapes and patterns in the eyes, leading some people to suggest that it is a strange mythological power at the centre of it all, much like the Eye of Sauron in The Lord of the Rings. However, there are some explanations for the hexagon's shape, with one hypothesis developed at Oxford University, which states that the hexagon forms when there is a steep gradient in the speed of the atmospheric winds in Saturn's atmosphere. Similar shapes are also created in the laboratory when a circular tank of liquid was rotated at different speeds at its centre and periphery. Personally, I prefer the Lord of the Rings theory. There is a higher power at play here. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with our list? Were there any scary space urban legends that we missed? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, and perhaps we can do a part 2. Before I go though, I just want to respond to a few comments from one of our last videos. Top 5 scary things you should never Google. Paul Montoya said, anything that has the word calculus in it is terrifying. Bloody things keep me awake at night. I couldn't agree more. Looking at those pictures of the teeth make me stay awake at night. Some random guy said, am I the only person who won't Google them? You're just smarter than the rest of us. Take it as a compliment. Nova Kane said, this was a very disturbing list that only scratches the surface, and yet I still watched. Yeah, a lot of you said that. The list does only scratch the surface, but I also can't show you the really dark stuff, nor should you want to see it. Jack Morgan said, man, check out Lucy dropping science on us. Now I feel like I need to brush my teeth again. You should brush your teeth twice a day. Never forget it. FZ Valenza said, I miss seeing Lucy. I miss seeing me too. Maybe one day we'll see each other again. And on that note, if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another scary bit. And until next time, see you later.